This is Technology Questions Answered, Episode 3 Antiviruses. What, why, and how they can or cannot work, and the consequences of viral infections on our computers. This is your host, Steve Smith, founder of Z-Axis Productions and digital technologies consultant. Thank you for listening to our third episode of Technology Questions Answered, and today's topic, antiviruses. Why we install them, use them, how they work, and why they can't always work like they are intended to. This topic makes up nearly 60% of my business, as we are asked to recover documents off hard drives that have been contaminated by viruses. Some even running the computer's zombies for botnets, and I will get to that definition a little later. All of us use antivirus software, install them on our computers, and run them whether automatically every so often or manually. Most of us have no idea what it is used for, usually because we assume that they are perfectly suited to protecting us. An antivirus scans your computer for viruses with known programming patterns that cause malicious damage to our operating system. Antivirus software compares known samples of virus coding to what is in your computer, and some are even capable of determining that some viruses exist on your computer by what actions it attempts to undertake in your operating system. They're remarkable programs that can help us determine if our computer is compromised. They are not designed to remove advanced viral coding from our computers completely because of how viruses are designed. Originally, viruses were works of art. Coding designed merely to annoy all of us, proving one's ability to create programming-like forms of art. At one point, viruses evolved to actually steal bandwidth, our personal identities, and documents. In other words, virus programmers stopped annoying us, amazing us, but started stealing from us. And really, no one knows exactly when this happened. Of course, we aren't dealing with the same programmers anymore. Many of us merely started designing software to combat this new breed of viral coding, which are primarily new forms of terrorism. Today's terrorism is starting to be done online and not offline. It is easier to crash government servers, commercial servers, and cause markets to crash because it's actually easier to convince millions of users to download videos, programs, photos, and documents that contain viruses within. Once your computer is contaminated, it is finished. I hope you made backups. Format and reinstall your copy of Windows. Do not wait for your personal information to be stolen or to have your computer used against your will to send out millions of spam or begin attacking government or commercial targets. Most of these viruses originate from pirated pornography, spoof websites, which are replicates of real websites, and hijacked websites. So you must be completely aware of where you are online. The most important thing you can do to protect yourself is not to access pirated sites. Never click on links in your emails. Never divulge your password. Change your password regularly. Don't download pirated materials. You can now listen to most episodes of shows and many movies through publishers' websites or via iTunes, PSN, or Xbox Live, as well as Netflix. You may also rent most of these episodes and movies you want to see as well through the same services. A lot of pirate websites also use Trojan viruses that introduce viral downloaders into our machines to install rootkits, spyware, keyloggers, screenloggers, etc. All of these are viruses, even spyware. No one wants you to know the truth about spyware. It is viral in nature, even if they prefer to class it differently. It can record everything you do, diagnose your computer's current state, and even record input and output information like your screen's current state. This is merely one of the many reasons I have opted out of commercial software solutions when open source options are available. At one point, antivirus companies were even trying to remove spyware like they were removing viruses, but some companies complained, so they backed off. Then new spyware software came out, and then it started saying things like, if you remove certain pieces of software, you may be violating EULA's contracts and agreements. Remove all spyware you are able to from your computer, whether it is installed by viruses or a legal form of software. Many companies monitor ink levels in your computer, software usage, etc. I do not want them to know how many times I print using my computer or open software. They can quite literally play in traffic. And you should also behave in this way, because if we do not take our rights back when it comes to our private lives, we will literally lose our private lives forever. Unfortunately, when it comes to software, it's not just the supposed good guys that have access to this information. The bad guys use these holes in our computer to gain access and infiltrate the defenses of our computers. New breeds of antivirus software like McAfee and CA Internet Security are now being designed in response to today's new reality. Most antiviral software now includes anti-spyware software, anti-rootkit software, and dynamic viral scanning of incoming and outgoing traffic. For this, it is important to have them installed. It will slow down computers, and you will lose access to certain sites because of this, mostly pirated sites, so nothing lost. However, no antivirus is able to prevent or remove 100% of all viruses, and many viruses are still not identified, and they dig deep into your computers, replacing system files and dynamic libraries required for our Windows machines to work. Removing these files would render the computer dead. So antivirus software also contains virus vaults and notification software to tell us we have been infected. The sad fact is that many of these virus infections can be prevented by doing updates regularly, updating software and drivers whenever there is an update, and using hardware firewalls or encrypted wireless signals. You may also be infected by accident via emails from friends' computers that have been compromised by these viruses, and even by network sharing protocols. Never open documents, files, or programs you do not know. All of this will eventually lead to sandboxing the operating system. Unfortunately, this may lead to the death of Windows as the primary operating system. Due to the ineffective nature of Microsoft Windows to create a security scheme that would protect us, virus programmers will continue attacking Microsoft machines, continue taking control, and attacking others once they are done with you. We will have to migrate to Linux and Unix-based operating systems like Ubuntu, Debian, Apple, etc. unless Microsoft takes a page from Apple and makes a lockdown operating system and contains the user environment within an unbreachable shell or sandbox. That prevents viral coding from accessing the Windows kernel, otherwise known as the brain of the operating systems, or accessing the registry, the system files, or dynamic libraries. This will require all programs to be signed with authorized private keys that can be verified by the operating system. This will also ultimately affect driver installations because they will also be required to be signed to confirm their authorized software. I am sorry to say we will all have to get used to the idea of confirming actions and program activations. Those of us with Apple computers or PC with Unix or Linux installations are already used to that fact of life, and we have virtually virus and spyware-free computer systems as a result. We will also have to learn to use encrypted hard drives using TPM, Trusted Platform Modules, or using self-encrypting operating systems to protect our personal data. This is the only way we will fend off the onslaught of viral damage and subsequent use of our machines in a new world order of digital terrorism, fraud, theft of information, etc. The only problem with these future operating systems is the very fact that the user is going to have to learn how to use them. This is one of the reasons people hated Windows Vista, which was an attempt at locking down the operating system. I believe they didn't go far enough and should have made it mandatory to upgrade to hardware that is signed with authorized private keys in order to stop virus programmers from finding holes in coding. I'd like to point out that Apple is known for doing this, and because many Windows users refuse to buy new hardware and learn how to use the internet carefully, we are forced to use defective operating systems that barely work. This is why informed users and those who care not to have their personal information and hardware exposed to illegal activities should be proactive in their attempts to protect themselves from viral infection by updating all software, including antivirus, anti-spyware, drivers, operating system security updates, all to the latest version. You need to have up-to-date software and be careful when you are online to protect yourself from those who would do you harm. At least until operating system companies and hardware companies start working together to make our computers secure and virus free. Next week, we will be talking about the different operating systems like Windows, Apple, and Linux, comparing each one to the other. And if you have any questions, comments, or stories, you may find all the necessary contact information or list of sources, software, hardware suggestions on our website at www.zedaxis.net, as well as a list of important podcasts that you should listen to. This has been a podcast hosted by Steve Smith, digital technology consultant for ZX Productions. Stay safe and online. This has been Technology Questions Answered. This show was recorded using Audacity, an open source sound recorder and editor. Head over to audacity.sourceforge.net and support Audacity by donating or buying exclusive merchandise. Or head over to our site and view the links in the show notes of this episode. This show was recorded October 3rd, 2010, and is now available on iTunes and our website at www.zedaxis.net.